Hello, hello. We are live. It is Wednesday. Oh, hi. My husband just came home. Hi, guys. How we doing? It is Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that means we are going live in a few locations. The Autistic and Thriving Facebook page, the Autistic and Thriving Facebook group, the Autistic and Thriving YouTube channel, and the autism community. So hello. My name is Kathy Flynn. For those of you who do not know who I am, who might be new to the live or maybe watching it later on, I am a special ed teacher. I teach in New York City public schools in a District 75 setting, and I've been working in the autism community for the last 13 years. I actually taught gen ed before that, so I even have more years of experience in the classroom. But in the on the special ed side of things, I've actually not just worked in the classroom with autistic children. I've worked in homes, in many homes, as an early intervention teacher, as well as special ed preschool. Preschool special ed is actually the way they term it here in New York. So I have worked with many children from multiple ages in their homes with daily living skills, play skills, language, behavior, and parent training. So I really got started with great parent training strategies when I first started teaching. And then most recently, I have been in the classroom in the elementary setting. For the last several years, I've been in the elementary setting in New York City public schools. And over the last year and a half, we've had to, or I guess over the last year and a half, we've had to go into remote learning for a lot of that time. And probably about 50% of it was spent online in a remote setting through the camera, just like I am through the camera right now with you guys. So we had to make what some may consider impossible possible. It was my job to be a parent trainer. It was my job to go in through the computer screen and try to show parents how to do these emergent tasks with their children. And a few of my parents are actually not English speaking, and so I needed a translator and to make all of this happen, to make it work. And it was challenging. It was very challenging. But I think one of the most important things I've learned about parent training is that I need to go step by step, because these parents do not have the background that I have. And it's important for me to go step by step with them and not overwhelm them with too many strategies at once, or too many skills at once, or things that require too many materials. Just 1 second. Hi, what's up? Where's you know that thing that you got for Wiley, that link? Oh, it was in here. I don't know. It's up in her room, I think. So I have a few people on, but I don't have anybody actually commenting. So let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to chat with you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Actually, let me know how my camera's coming in, because my eyes are kind of blurry, and I don't know if you guys can see me very clearly through my webcam. Let me close this door. Oh, okay. So I'm back. Here I am. I don't know who's still on. Please let me know where you're coming in from. Actually, I can see that it's my Autistic and Thriving Facebook. Oh, my Facebook page and my Facebook group. Hello. Wherever you are coming in from, let me know. Post a comment. Let me know that you're here. I'd love to chat with you. But anyway, back to what I was saying about parent training. It's really been so eye-opening, because, you would think that it's already challenging to work with super emergent children who might even still be in diapers and may be completely nonverbal. I have 5 students this year, and all of them are nonverbal. And so we work very closely with them on building a communication system and making their language functional, so that they don't get frustrated, so that they're not aggressive, so that they're using their emotions in functional ways, and they're keeping everybody safe and keeping themselves safe. So behavior is a huge part of what I do. And all of this parent training over this last several years. Okay, I don't know, but you're gonna have to give me a little bit, please. It might be underneath that table. I'm so sorry, guys. My son is talking to me. So I've wanted to, take what we're doing in New York City and spread it to the masses. I want to be able to take what I know and bring it online, because I know so many more people need my help. And I have expertise with autistic children, and all the way up to about even teens. I've worked with a couple of teenagers for sure. And I currently know a 21-year-old and a 24-year-old and a few others. So, I'm learning every day, and that's the beauty and the adventure of working or living or loving somebody with autism, someone who is autistic. You learn something new every day. They bring some new perspective to the way we see the world, and that's pretty powerful. It's super rewarding to teach them so that they have better strategies when they need to go to the bathroom, so that they are more independent with all daily living skills, and so that they can do some leisure skills at the table. That includes puzzles and being on the iPad and being able to play with some toys if they're at that age level. There's nothing wrong with the iPad. We don't want to necessarily have too much screen time, but you can learn so much from being on the iPad, and hours and hours of Sesame Street or YouTube videos are actually great language builders. So as long as the content is appropriate, I think that kids can learn so much from watching the same shows over and over again, and or even the same types of shows, especially if they're educational, especially if they are geared for a preschool age child. It's okay, because you're learning so many great social skills from those types of shows. Sesame Street is amazing. My 12-year-old was saying the other day, "Oh my God, Sesame Street is so stupid. It's just like the same thing over and over again." And I said, and that's because it's for a preschool audience, and they need the same thing over and over again. They need repetition. That's what helps them learn. And they don't do the same exact thing every week. They go in and, do a different letter each episode, and they do a different number, and they teach them how to count, and they teach them how to share and learn about art and go to the bathroom. And there's all kinds of amazing, wonderful skills that they're teaching. And so all of these shows are very wholesome and great for your kiddos, even if they're cartoons. Usually there's some level of education going on, even if it's just social skills with other people, and how to have a conversation even. So TV is okay in my book, for kiddos with autism. Not that we're watching TV in the classroom, but we are letting our kiddos watch, a certain amount of minutes of YouTube, here and there throughout their day. It helps them break off, and take a break from what they were just physically doing, from what they were just mentally doing. We challenge our kiddos, and we also need to give them that mental break, throughout the day. They work for a certain amount of minutes, and then they get a couple minute break. And that's super, super important. And it's important for me to explain that, because I think so many parents and even autistic adults actually who don't know what the current classroom looks like. I can come in with that teacher perspective. I know what I do on a day-to-day basis. I know how much my students are thriving and making progress. You're making a lot of noise. That's my son going in and out of the room, as you can hear the door slamming over and over again. See, I have a kiddo too, who sometimes makes things difficult when it's time to do work. But yeah, we're going to be patient, because patience is a virtue, right? I'm going to teach everybody to be as patient as possible with all kinds of behaviors, right? We need to understand where behaviors come from and learn how to move forward with those behaviors based on like the reason why they're happening. All levels of behavior are a form of communication. So if your kiddo is nonverbal and he or she is getting aggressive in any way, I don't know why I'm not getting any comments. If you guys are here, if anyone's here with me, I have someone from the autism community. Let me know that you're here. I don't know. Maybe there's a glitch with the comments. I'm not sure. I'm going to check my phone in a second. My phone dropped, actually. So I'm going to do a little ninja trick and get up with my foot. And try to check the Facebook feed and see what's going on. It doesn't even show that I'm going live. Let's refresh that. Oh, there I am. Okay. Oh, Joe Davies is here. Hi, Joe. Thanks for commenting finally. I was trying to check. I'm like, someone's watching. Where are you coming in from? What are you doing? Joe from England is here. Thanks, Joe, for jumping in. And let's see. Let me check one of the other groups and just see. I'm going to just throw her comment up there. Let's see if anyone's watching from here. Nope. No one's commenting there. Okay. I don't look. I don't know if it's my eyes. Joe, let me know if I'm coming in clear or not, because I don't know. My eyes are totally going on me. It doesn't. It's not fun getting old. My online face for you guys is always with my glasses. And I'm forgetting to wear my glasses at work. And I should be wearing them all the time because my eyes are getting worse. So sometimes it's hard for me to tell like what you guys see, if I'm coming in clear or not. And I can't even check with my phone because my phone doesn't look clear to me either. So I need some feedback on the on what you guys are seeing. And I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. I think my mic is working pretty good, but I'm not sure about the camera. So just try to let me know about that. Hi, Kathy. Who is that? Is that Trav coming in? Let's see. Oh, Lori. Hi, Lori. I saw your post about your grandson. That's amazing that he got his surgery. I'm so happy to hear that everything went well, except for the fact that they threw you out of the hospital. That was horrible. Oh, my God. I can't even believe, because he was screaming and crying and they couldn't deal with him, so they wanted him to go home. I think they discharged him too early. You look and sound good. Thanks, Lori. Thanks for commenting on my camera quality. I was asking for feedback. Oh, my heart goes out to your grandson. I hope that he's healing well. Lori's grandson just had eye surgery for being cross-eyed, and so he's healing at home and he's doing well. But of course, when he woke up from anesthesia, he was a nightmare. He was a mess because he, poor baby had swollen eyes and didn't know what was going on and couldn't see. And so that was terrible. They kind of sort of kicked him out of the hospital because he was screaming and crying, according to Lori's post. They should be ashamed of themselves. And I would definitely follow up with hospital administration and let them know that that was not okay to do that. The Disabilities Act says, all respect, all healthcare, all medical needs, all of immediate needs need to be met, despite having a disability. So I think that's very sad to hear that happened to him. He's doing great. I'm so happy to hear that he's doing great, recovering from his surgery. He's adorable. I like, seeing your pictures, and I'm sure he's certainly not going to be climbing too much right now because he's healing. I hope that he is able to see much better now, and that he heals quickly so he can get back to his normal active self. Lori says, I was shocked at how they handled it. I would have been, I am too, just hearing your story. I'm very shocked. I think that's terrible. And someone definitely needs to be made aware that that was done and that was not acceptable at all. They need to make better protocols for situations like that, for sure. Even if they weren't sure what to do, they should have someone on hand that can help them with situations like that, even if it's a psychologist. So yeah, we should be able to trust, hospitals in caring for our kiddos. And the way he was treated was not appropriate at all. Absolutely. Yes. I agree. So Lori, definitely, call, there's all kinds of administrators that sit on the board and stuff like that. And they probably wouldn't be too happy hearing about how some of these doctors handled this baby's discharge. It's atrocious, honestly. So, I would keep knocking on that door because, people need to know that the way they treat people, if they're not being, tolerant and respectful and even caring and compassionate, I mean, what's the point, right? Like, they need to be made aware. Like, sometimes people do not have the right perspective, and it's so important to speak up for your grandson, especially because he can't really, speak for himself, right? I think that he's nonverbal, you said. Oh, you bet I will. Good for you. You should. And it's important because people need to know where they're making faults, so something like that never ever happens again. And even if they have to be called out by someone else a little higher up, so be it, because that should never be allowed to happen. And because it was allowed to have happened, something needs to be rectified, in the end, even if it's just a new policy for the hospital. So I would continue to fight for that cause because it's really important. Okay, let's see. So I don't have too many other comments. I hope that talking about parent training and working with parents online, I've gotten pretty comfortable doing the lives, and I feel that my lives have been helpful. If you need something specific, let me know. Throw me a message because I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to take my expertise online. I'm actually starting a membership. So if anyone's interested in joining my membership, I'll be posting about it in all of these communities very soon. It should be launching sometime mid-July, the membership. So I have a deadline for myself. And it'll basically be me, being able to coach you in the membership every month. And you get content from me and you get a community of people. And so, it's an affordable membership, so you can get just ongoing coaching in the membership on very specific things. And you can get ongoing content from me as well. How to use reinforcement at home, how to, set up all of this compliance training, having your child actually follow your directions so that you're not having to give your child everything that he or she wants, all the time. That's just not reality, right? So we need our kiddos to follow a routine. They need to follow a schedule. They need to get choices in their day and have breaks, but they definitely need to learn to follow directions, and in school and at home. So, all of that is important to teach them language, to teach them, more skills, tabletop activities, leisure skills, play skills, social skills, daily living skills, you name it, we can teach it and we can embed it into everyday routines. So I want you to be open-minded about that if you're a parent that's struggling at home, because there is help out there and it does not have to be overwhelming. I can help you a little bit at a time, just embed those strategies into everyday routines, and it could be really, really beneficial. So something you might want to consider. All right, let's see what Lori said. The one nurse was trying, she just didn't have a clue how to deal with the screaming. The other was yelling over him, discharge instructions. That's terrible. Yeah, when nurses don't know what to do or how to handle the situation, they should not they need to know what to do. And so that's another reason why admin needs to be involved, the hospital admin, because there needs to be training then in these situations, for doctors and nurses who don't know how to handle this kind of a situation. This can happen all the time. May not happen all the time, but it can happen often enough that, these people, anyone with a disability needs to be treated with respect and with dignity and with compassion. And if that's not happening with certain protocols, then those protocols need to be changed for sure. Let's see. Joe asked about masking. Can I ask about masking? My son masks a lot, but on holiday he wasn't. Should I be encouraging him not to mask or mask less? More like. So I agree. Oh, Lori says she agrees. Marissa is watching. Hi, Marissa. No problem. Don't worry about being late. I'm actually not going to stay on too much longer, but we are talking about a few different things. We were talking about parent training, how amazing it was for my students all this last year and a half. And, you'll have to go back and rewatch the live from the beginning, but we've been talking about a few different things. Lori and her grandson, and now Joe is on as well and is asking about masking. So when you say that he was masking, that he's always masking, but on holiday he wasn't, what does his masking actually look like? Before I define what I believe masking is, I want you to help me define what you think masking is for your son and what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. So what does he look like when he's masking, and what was he not doing on holiday, or what was he doing on holiday that he doesn't do normally? Just try to be a little bit more specific with that so that I can, we could have a discussion about masking, because it's a little bit of a sensitive topic. And Marissa said we were swimming. Oh, I hope the swimming lesson went well. Or maybe not a lesson, but fun swimming in the hot weather. It's nice, and my daughter's swimming right now too at her friend's house. Mm-hmm. You want to what? Oh my God. Call her and ask her.
I did.
Oh. So Joe, I don't know where you went. If you're still here, if you can let me know about masking. So my definition of masking is basically, when a child feels like he or she has to act a certain way, for neurotypical people. So, maybe not stimming, trying not to stim could be a mask, that an autistic person tries to put up a front, like puts up a wall. So I'm not going to stim right now because I'm in the store and I don't want people staring at me. So I'm going to mask my stimming, sort of a way to like try to shut down maybe certain autistic traits. Maybe if it's scripting a show, or can you let Bailey out? So she's crying. Or tics possibly. Let's see. He tries to fit in, but was more followed lines, making odd comments he doesn't usually make. He tries to hide his tics in school. Oh, hi, Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Oh, not everybody's comments are coming through. Finally caught you, but late. That's okay. Thanks for coming in. Okay, so tics, I don't know. I mean, even for kids with tics or Tourette's syndrome, usually tics are very hard to control. And when you overthink about them, they kind of come on in like a full force, So that's a very difficult thing. That's very neurological. Tics, stimming, all those things are very neurological responses. And it's very hard to mask them. It's hard to hide them. So what's probably happening is he's trying to hide them. And then when he gets home, or when he goes on holiday where he doesn't have school for several days, he can relax. He can relax his body. And maybe he feels, he can be himself and he doesn't need to try to fit in and mask his tics or mask his stimming. So following lines is what it was meant to say. That's what I thought. Let's see. Let me go back up. Oh, I lost it. Is it this? Yeah. He tries to fit in, but was more following lines, making odd comments. Okay. Yeah. So, if he doesn't usually make the odd comments, when he's in school, it's probably because he knows that he shouldn't be making these odd comments because people give him looks and, maybe the teacher asks him to stop. But when he was on holiday, he didn't have to hide that. He didn't have to be told anything by the teacher. He felt free to just be himself and say whatever, whenever, right? He might have verbal tics as well. Odd comments could be coming out as a verbal tic. Maybe it's some level of Tourette's syndrome, I'm not sure, or just some part of his autism, like his stimming and, vocalizations that come out, his scripting. So, that's fine. And those things, make him appear more autistic. So what? He finally felt comfortable enough to, unleash those. Masking is hard. I don't know why children feel the need to mask. We don't make our children feel the need to look more neurotypical. We don't shut down their stimming in my classroom anyway. I can't speak for everybody's ABA classroom or VB classroom, but in my classroom in New York City and in the classrooms like mine in New York City, we have to allow our kiddos to stim. We can't make them have quiet hands all day. I mean, their hands are going. I have a kid who goes like this in my face. That I don't like. If he's in my face, it's almost like he's just trying to get my attention by throwing his fingers in my face. And that's not okay because that's not appropriate. But I let him put his fingers by his own body. I say, that's too close, buddy. You can do that down here. So I give him a choice of where it's appropriate, because you don't want anybody's fingers in your face. That's just not socially appropriate. So socially, he needs to learn, it's okay to move my fingers. It's okay if I like to stim like this, but I shouldn't do it right in someone's eyes because, I could hurt them and they may not like it. Most people don't like that. It's just not a social norm. So we try to teach these social skills in these kinds of ways because it's something that we don't like. We want to respect each other. We want them to know that we respect them for things that they don't like, and they need to respect us for things that we don't like, right? That's the balance of social skills. That's an amazing balance. So we are always teaching that in the classroom. And I think, unfortunately, maybe his school is a lot stricter and he feels that he needs to mask during school because, people unfortunately are looking at him oddly. And, I think the more we embed kids who stim and kids who tic and kids who do all these quirky, unique things, and the more we embed that into the everyday routines and into school, the more neurotypical people are going to be like, oh, that's not scary, or, oh, that's not weird. I don't need to stare. I don't need to, ask him to stop. That's him being autistic. That's what he does. That's okay. It's not bothering me. Certain sounds, certain movements can bother people if it's too close to their personal space. But if it's off in the distance, people need to learn to tolerate that because that's that person being who they are. So I think it's so important to let him have those moments to feel free enough to tic and make comments, and unfortunately he doesn't feel that way in school. Maybe it's time to talk to his teacher or his guidance counselor or the principal even, because he should feel free to be himself in school. That's where he really should feel free to, especially to be himself. So yeah, sort of went off on a little tangent about masking. I think that's so important to understand the flip side, right? Understand, somewhere along the line, there's this huge gray area, and a lot of parents and autistic adults have a misconception of what the autistic classroom looks like. What we do with our kiddos all day long. We never force them to sit down. We ask them to sit. We motivate them to come sit because we have some of their favorite things at the table. But we will never force a child into a chair. We will never force a child to stay seated. We use strategy. We use motivation. That's what gets our kiddos to want to sit with us and be with us. We'll blow bubbles. We'll tickle them. We'll, play with their favorite slime or slinky. And then we can also get work done. That's the way we pair. We pair ourselves with their favorite things so that they want to be with us. They know that we become the keeper of good things. And that's what can happen at home too. If your kiddo doesn't want to play with you, if your kiddo doesn't want to even sit with you, if you feel like you can't work on any skills at home, that's where it starts. It starts with you getting right on their level and right with some of the things that they love. If you're holding one of the things that they love in their hand, in your hand, I almost guarantee that they're going to approach you and they're going to come up to you and they're going to have to show joint attention. And maybe they'll snatch it out of your hand, but that's a great, great, great teaching opportunity to teach them to request. That's the first time my phone went off during a live. To teach them to request that item appropriately because you're the keeper of that item for that moment. And then they have to somehow get it from you. Well, that's the perfect opportunity to work on requesting. So, let's see. Are you out for the summer? Who wrote that? Marissa. Not yet, Marissa. Up in New York, we do not go out this early. I actually have to work until next Friday. So we are on a countdown. And then after next Friday, I'm done for the summer until September 13th. It's going to feel amazing to be off for 2.5 months. Super excited about that. And I will be all in on my platform and on my membership and on creating content and all kinds of parent training for my membership, the launch, the funnel, all the good things to really, really boost my online platform because I'll have the full day since I'm off for the summer. Let's see. Oh, we go out in May. Wow, Marissa, that's because you're all the way down in Virginia, right? You guys are you're in the South. I think it's, I want to say Virginia. Why
don't you ask her?
You know what? I have asked Marissa where she lives several times, and she always gives me the city, and not the state. But it's okay. I looked it up one time and I thought it was Virginia. But yeah, that's because you guys are super south. So the southern states actually go out earlier than we do because it gets hotter quicker, right? It gets much hotter, much hotter. Earlier? They do start earlier. They start earlier and they end earlier. We go from September to June and they go from August to May or something like that, I think. Yeah. Oh, West Virginia, St. Martinsburg. West Virginia. Yep. Martinsburg. And then Joe says in the UK we get 6 weeks for summer. Yeah, we do too. No, it's more than so we get all of July, all of August. So that's 8 weeks. And then we usually get at least a week in September and sometimes a couple of days in June, depending on when the last day falls. So yeah, this year we get a whole extra week in June off and the whole first week and a half of September off. So it ends up being almost 3 months. It's 2.5 months. So it's about 10 weeks for us. And our summer program is actually usually 6 weeks long. And that's usually the first week of July to the second week of August. So that's our summer school program. But outside of that, there's some vacation time that the kids can take still and that the teachers can take. And then our teachers, we can choose to work summer or not. So This summer, I choose not to work. I choose to work on my business, the Autistic and Thriving platform online, but I choose not to be in the classroom so that I can go all in online. So you guys will have a lot more of me over the summer. Okay. Okay, so let me hide that comment. So guys, I am going to bump off for the live. I have to help my son find something that he needs so that he can go live, I think, or do some kind of a video that he's doing. Good choice, LOL. Thanks, Marissa. I think it's a good choice too. I think it's a very good choice. In fact, tomorrow I am going to be picking up my brand new computer.
Yay!
I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a big investment, but it'll be super worth it. So that's exciting. I'll have to transfer everything over from this computer to that one. And next week I am not going live. So I'm going to put that out there right now. I will have an announcement, but I am not going live next week. I have my daughter's moving up ceremony. So 8th grade moving up ceremony. She's going off to high school, big stuff. And so she's got a very short COVID-friendly ceremony for only about a half hour, all different time periods. And I will be attending that and not going live in the groups. So I'm putting that out there right now. Next week, I need to put my mom hat on instead of my teacher hat after work. Okay. Have a great night, everybody. I hope that the live was helpful, and I will see you last week of June. I believe it is the
2 weeks.
30th, June 30th. I think when the last day of June, I guess it will be. All right. Bye, guys. You're welcome.